Hey. Greetings and salutations on this lovely Friday, the 13th of all days. I just noticed that.
Yeah.
I'm here with my good friend, dear friend from, not from Washington, D.C., but lives in Washington, D.C., Marshall Jackson today. How are we?
Hey, how are you, Tommy? I'm good.
Yeah, I
love
am
it.
also good. It's been an interesting day, as you know, here, but we're not going to get into that. We have a lot to talk about because it's been a few weeks since we've done this show, and we try to kind of cover all sorts of things that are happening in the frequent flyer world. And I think that since this is fresh in mind from yesterday, we had a pretty awful accident happen in India with the first hull loss of a 787, a 787-8, 11 years old, that Air India had. We're not going to talk about what happened because it's been done to death what the theory is about it is, and we are not, neither Marshall and I are into speculations, right? But Air India is a pretty safe airline. And they have the last accident that they had, hull loss, or is that what it's called, hull loss, when they
Hull
actually
loss
crash,
is a good way
when
to-
the whole plane goes into little pieces, and crashes. Was in 1985, and it was actually a plane that got blown up back then. So it's not an unsafe airline to fly. And as for how safe how safe is it out there, Marshall? Do you know?
I don't have any recent statistics in front of me, Tommy, but I'm perfectly comfortable flying.
But compared to driving, I think it's like the chances of an accident happen is like millions to one, or something like that. So I would say that, do you have any problems getting on an Air India plane tomorrow?
No.
Same either. I think that it was a terrible thing that happened. We're looking for answers, and hopefully we'll get them soon. We'll learn from it and learn a lot from it. And usually when something like this happens, we learn from it and we make sure that it doesn't happen again.
Exactly.
All right, on to more fun things. And condolences to all of the families. I'm sure that we don't have them watching, but we give them our thoughts and we give them our prayers. So moving to the fun stuff for today. We are going to talk a little bit about, we got quite a few things happening today. We're going to start with the Southwest offer that popped into my inbox here a couple of days ago. And it is, you register now and you fly you book and fly qualifying flights between 6:11 and 8:31. So all throughout the summer. For one qualifying flight, you get 5,000 rapid reward points, which is kind of crazy cool, right?
Sure.
And also one qualifying round trip, you get 5,000. 2 is 5,000 more, and 3, 10,000 points. So you can get 20,000 rapid rewards points. And if you're out there flying, I would say that this is a pretty decent offer.
I think so too. And importantly there, it counts towards your companion pass.
I see that it says that, which is another very good bonus for those who are traveling with a companion pass. And it's 135. For those who don't know what companion pass is, 135, when you achieve 100, it's 130 or 135?
I can't remember, Tom.
135. I'm pretty sure that it is. And if when you achieve, and it's different. It's a status with Southwest, but it's really not a status. You don't get the benefits about boarding with A groups and all that kind of stuff, but you get the opportunity to bring a person for free every time you fly Southwest, and everything counts. Every rapid rewards points you count in a year will count towards the. So this is another 20,000 that will count towards that, and so 135,000.
It is 100 or 100 qualifying one-way flights.
Right. So I would venture into saying that this is that the points is an easier way to do than to doing 100 flights butt and seat on Southwest. Whoever does that is drinks are on me. All right, let's move on. We also are seeing a lot of Southwest has started doing, and we're not only going to talk about Southwest, but we're going to talk about a little bit about them, since there are a lot of changes going on with that. So they are started to do red eyes recently.
Right.
And it seems like Baltimore has been a popular hub, and it seems that they're starting to invest a little bit more in that. So they're now starting nonstop flights from Long Beach, Ontario, Portland, San Francisco, San Jose, and Seattle to Baltimore. And I would say that that's a popular hub for Southwest on the East Coast, right? Probably the biggest one.
Absolutely.
So so they have 77 routes from Baltimore, which I think is pretty decent. So they're making some changes to their networks, as they should. There are a lot of empty planes, and they need to shake it up a little bit. And this seems that Baltimore is most definitely a focus area for them.
Baltimore's been a big stop for years for them, and I love how people say Southwest doesn't do hubs, but I challenge you to go to Baltimore and spend a few hours there and say that's not a hub. It is.
Right. All right, what else we got going on here? We've got Anchor Docking Station. That's definitely shouldn't be in here. We've got a
good products, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. We do like them for most of their products, for sure. So the last Southwest tidbit of the day is that they are looking for, we know that they've started a partnership with Iceland Air, where you can earn miles and you can redeem miles with Iceland Air. And they're also now with China Airlines, which is not Air China, not based in China, not a Chinese airline, but it is a Taiwanese airline. So, which is kind of a weird thing. What do you think does this make any sense?
It may. Their brand loyalists may choose to fly Southwest to Europe internationally. I wouldn't. I mean, near Mexico and the Caribbean's one thing, but I read somewhere they're looking at starting nonstop to Reykjavik for their
right. And that's what this article is about. So, do they have any? So, what's their max setup? How many planes max do they have, and which variants is it that they're using?
So they have on hand, I think it's just all Dash 8s that they have in the fleet now, and they have a large order for the Dash 7, which is yet to be certified.
Right. So which one is the longest range of it? Is that the Dash 9 or?
I'm gonna speculate that the Dash 8 is. I'm not 100% positive. I would think that the Dash 8 has just a little more range, but I'm not 100% positive on that.
Right. So I've done a long haul flight with the Dash 8 once from Boeing Field to Oslo for a delivery flight for Norwegian, where I was. We did a fundraiser there. We raised a ton of money for UNICEF for the cholera vaccines in Yemen, and it was. Obviously it was maximum of 18 people on that flight, right. So it makes it a little bit lighter. And there was, and it was nothing in the hold, and it was self-catered. We brought 2 cases of champagne from Costco and Veuclicol, and we had ice cream. So, but those Recaro seats aren't. Even if you can lay flat, let's just say that it's
you're gonna be hurting by the end of that.
Yeah, they're like this thick, but it easily has legs from the East Coast to go to Europe because Iceland already flies that, and they don't have a lot of seats on they have a pretty tight in the back. They have their business class, which in reality is premium economy on their flights. But I can't imagine that they don't have any issues doing Seattle. They don't have any issues doing from Seattle, from Reykjavik, because of you go over the top, over Hudson Bay and stuff. So as the crow flies, it's 7 hours and some change to get to Reykjavik from there. So what is their play? To fly there and have Iceland Air fly them around Europe? Or is it, are we going to see?
I read speculation they're looking at making just Reykjavik kind of a jumping off point. And maybe Southwest will do something on the pass beyond Reykjavik as well.
Maybe a European daughter company of Southwest. Well, I mean, their strategy has been they felt maxed out, and also the pandemic hit them worse than any of the other airlines, right? Because all of the domestic flying, so they've lost quite a bit of market share domestically, and they screwed it up a lot with the pilots and getting people back to work and all that. They've struggled more than everybody did, but they did. Hawaii has been kind of a thing, and Supposedly, they're losing a ton of money on that.
Really?
Yeah, I've read that. I'm not going to say it for sure.
Yeah.
But they have kind of slings that go. You fly from here, and we take them every once in a while because it's nonstop to Kona from here, and from Sacramento where I live, and it's like 4, and it was 4 hours and some change, maybe 5 depending on the winds. But so they're not I'm not going to fly for an hour and 20 minutes down to LA to be on a triple. I'll rather just hop on nonstop and be on the beach for longer periods of time with 2 extra Mai Tais versus something on a triple. So that's the old Tommy talking. The young Tommy would, of course, for the miles back when it paid off, he would stop in LA. But I digress. But they fly out there, and then they do jumps between the islands, and then they head back to a different destination. It's kind of where it is. So I don't know. I got to look it up. I'll actually research it for our next conversation to see if there's any facts about that.
I'd be curious how they're doing inter-island wise versus Hawaiian.
Right. Yeah, I mean it's fairly cheap. It's $39, and those flights are, it depends. We flew them inter-island just a couple of months ago, or actually it was January. We flew them inter-island, and it was packed to the brim both ways from the Lulu to Kauai, and so we flew from Kauai to from the Lulu to Kauai and then back, or was it from Maui to Kauai and back? It was jam-packed, both of the flights. But of course, it was like, December 28th, which is very, very the most popular time of year in Hawaii. But so that's not obviously an indicator of anything. But I have a feeling that the load factor there, because there's a lot of flights between those islands, is pretty low. But they don't have any staff based in Hawaii. They all come from the mainland and hop around there, and then they go back. Really? There's slings that go back and forth. So don't know anything about airline operations, what's profitable or not, but that's how they've chosen to do it. So they don't have any planes based in Hawaii, and they don't have any people. So, all right, new Rimowa suitcases. Get ready for their future. So I don't know what this box is, but it looks kind of weird, doesn't it?
It's kind of weird looking. I guess that's your suitcase and your seat at the same time.
It's for old timers like us. No, when we're out roaming around, then we have a place to sit down for a minute. And also, if we go into a crowded bar and there are no seats, we can sit down as well.
Sit down on our backs, absolutely.
Right. So I guess these are like work stuff or whatever. But, Rimowas have gotten it was acquired by Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy back in I would say probably 2017, 18, something like that. And after that, they changed a lot around. It's always been an expensive bag, and I'm a big fan of them myself. I have a ton of them. I have 3. I'm looking at 4 of them right here. So, but the thing is with the aluminum that you're seeing in here, when you check those in, it's we're not. They tend to get damaged because of.
I can see that getting scuffy.
Yeah, which is part of the charm. Actually, I'm going to roll mine over here. So you can take a look at it. This thing here is obviously one of those aluminum cases,
right?
And yeah, they get dings and stuff like that. But for this bag, in the bottom corner, right here, you can see this area right here.
Right.
Is where BA dropped it from. There's a hole in it here. See.
Yeah.
This is what it's been. This has been repaired. This is how it came back from them.
Okay.
So it drops on a corner because this aluminum stuff is it's very porous. So it's very it's a material that's not. So I only do polyester now. This other stuff, it's only for carry on. You can't check that kind of stuff or it's going to break. And also they only had a short warranty, like 3 years. And so you kind of got screwed. But the airlines typically pick up the tab for the checked-in bags. But you have to pay for like handles and things like that. But in 2021, So if you buy bags bought after 2021, they have lifetime guarantee, and they will send you a FedEx label. So you put it in the mail, and you'll ship it to them, and they'll fix it for free, and they'll ship it out to you for free. So it doesn't matter what happens to it. So that's a good gig. And I just got a couple of new suitcases, but they have kind of gone away from being like functional hitman style luggage to being more of a fashion statement because of the Louis Vuitton thing, which I kind of not a big fan of. So we got it's called the Essential. That's the one I would recommend. It's polycarbonate. Got a couple in Rome when we were there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they were about, after you get the VAT back, which we did, we're about 600 euros. A little bit less than 600 euros is how much it was without the VAT. So much cheaper than in the US. And some new nifty things, but I don't know what this is supposed to be, but I guess this article is in vogue, so they're probably moving towards that.
It's supposed to be fancy.
So not us, not you and me. All right, so we had found there are some airlines that are banned from various airspaces around the world. And I didn't know. I read this article. It's like 169. That is a lot of airlines that are banned.
I'm surprised that number is that high, to be honest.
Yeah, and there's 169, and there two countries, Tanzania and Suriname, is entirely banned. And I guess Air Zimbabwe is out. Fly Baghdad is out. Iraqi Airways is out. Some other sporty stuff. And long article here. I invite you to check it out. It's kind of an interesting thing. And as you can see, Air Tanzania, that's a 787.
787, that's a -8 for sure.
Yeah. And also they got a giraffe back there. The wings of the Kilimanjaro. Just don't fly into it. All right, that was a bad joke. All right, so game changer alternative to global. So I looked this up earlier in the week, and I forgot all about these articles before I read it. I guess no problem at several of America's busiest airports. What is this about?
It's a facial entry thing.
It is a real game change. So with the new process, almost feels like it's agencies, but without the $120 application fee, and it could make for an enticing alternative for travelers who leave the country only once or twice a year. And it's something called what?
Enhanced.
Brian wants my email.
You better type it in there.
I'm not going to do that in front of all these people. So, no, we're not going to talk about that. So there you go, Brian. We're not going to cover that one. All right. So it was called something passengers and enhanced stuff. But these news on the hotel front is that the St. Regis Aruba is now open. Yeah. Have you been to Aruba? You've probably been there on a cruise.
I have been to Aruba a couple of times on cruises.
So on the beach, nice water, St. Regis, meaning that you finally have there's a Ritz-Carlton in Aruba, among other things, which is kind of a little bit, isn't that the one that Gary always talks about that was so busy?
Maybe.
Yeah. But this looks kind of nice. They've got some, wow, it's a nice room. Got views of everything. Yep. So now you can use your Bonvoy points in the Caribbean, and I'm sure it'll be mighty.
$1.5 million.
Yeah, let's hope not.
All right.
Speaking of
Aruba.
Yeah. Speaking of international flying, it looks like Breeze Airways they had a provisional approval to fly internationally, and now they've gotten their approval. You know, things seems to be going very quickly at the Department of Transportation these days. So they got their thing, and they're now starting to expand all over the place. They're looking at Europe also. 220 to Europe?
Sounds like a great time, not. But I can think of worse airplanes to fly on.
What's the range of these things anyways?
They have pretty long legs. I think they could do East Coast to near continental Europe.
Yeah, I actually have no issues with this airplane. I flew it from Rome to London City. There's one of those planes that can land at London City with that
Right.
that steep approach that you have to do.
Yeah.
They don't have ETOPS yet, so they're obviously got to work on that.
Sure.
And they got to do some other things with that. But they're started Mexico and for international there. So potential routes is Cabo, Cancun, Punta Cana, and all that stuff were places where I never go with an airplane. But they are thinking about Europe also. They got a first class, so I would venture into saying if you're going to Reykjavik, then I'd rather be on this one than being on Southwest.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so they got 2+2, and I do like this has got an MD-80 type of feel in the cabin because it's 2+3.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, the range is 3,600 nautical miles, according to the interweb. So it must.
So like a 757 type of
exactly.
gig.
So it could do East Coast and near Europe.
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, more competition and more offerings is always welcome. And here we've got, so what are we doing here? Yeah, I think we've talked about Southwest enough for today. Let's see here. That is a Norwegian newspaper about space equipment, but we're not going to talk about that. Claudia Schiffer, she reveals a sleeker Sapphire Reserve card. And there's going to be some serious changes to the Sapphire. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about it. The award scheme is getting a little remake.
Right. So I looked at the Reddit thread, and this is what it says. Annual fee goes from $550 to $795. Wow. So they're beating Amex with $100. That means that obviously Amex is going to beat them immediately again.
They're going to raise theirs to $895.
Right. So they're doing their Chase travel portal. So what I do like about the Sapphire Reserve is that the $300 you get per year.
I do.
If you buy a train ticket or a plane ticket, you have the Sapphire Reserve.
I don't anymore. I swapped it down to the preferred, but it's a.
I like that piece of it because that you're going to spend $300 on any.
Oh, absolutely, but that was a good. I really liked that. I preferred that to the way Amex does things with their coupon book.
Yeah, and it seems like these guys are learning from Amex as well. So 8x on Chase travel, hotel, and cars. 8x on travel flights. 4 direct on flights and hotel, which is an improvement.
Yeah.
And but as you can see, other travel, meaning a train ticket or whatever, which used to be 3, it's now 1.
Yeah.
And dining remains the same. So it was like a special. It was like this. It was my preferred card minus dining, which was the gold American Express card when I traveled. We used it for everything. Of course, you stay we have all the hotel cards for hotel nights, but in general, for everything when you're on the road, everything except for dining and specific hotels, you use this card. So I would say mixed bag. I'm not going to change my bookings with hotels and with flights anyways, because Amex is still 5x. So why would you change that when it's only 4x, right? Sure. And hotels, I mean, you earn more miles booking it directly with. Wait a minute, it depends. I'm going to have to do the math on that. All right, let's look at the new benefits. 500 edit credit hotel portal. So you get $250 every 6 months for prepaid hotels on their portal. So like the Capital One card, the Venture X card. Meaning that you go in, and actually I used mine. My Capital One was expiring. You get $300 a year on that. And we had our dear friend, Mr. Grumpy Old Man, Peter Greenberg. He was staying with us. He came over to London to our loyalty summit here 2 weeks ago. Uh-huh. And he had a session. And he got there and he was like, "Oh, where's my hotel room?" And I actually had booked the hotel room for him, but he was like, he wanted the room at an unreasonable hour, of course, like the back to the grumpy old man situation. And I booked it. I booked it in order because it was expiring, so I used it and I prepaid for his hotel room with that credit. So I guess it's worth for something because I expensed it. I got to back my money for that from my company.
There you go.
$300 dining credit via Sapphire Reserve tables. What's that?
Never used it. I guess it's some sort of dinner booking, restaurant.
So probably not at all, even close to Resi or Door. What's the name of it?
Not Open Table or Resi.
Open Table, yeah, that's the one that has all of them.
Yeah.
Then you've got $300 StubHub credit. I mean, you can go to see a Nationals game.
Yeah.
Right? Overpriced. But, since it's free, you get 150. So borderline 2 ticket almost.
Cost me $40 for the 2 beers, but that's okay.
Right. Exactly. Then you get $300 DoorDash. So that goes up from $10 to $25. We use it when we're home.
Yeah.
And then you got the DoorDash membership. It becomes a benefit, not just a temporary thing. They gave it to every Chase cards for a while, and then they started taking it away and stuff.
Yeah.
$250 towards Apple TV and Apple Music. Yeah. So I don't have Apple Music and don't have Apple TV anymore because I honestly don't feel like I'm getting enough value for that. So I guess I'll just put it back on. I don't have the card either. Melinda has it. Right. We share and we divide and conquer in this house. $120 Lyft credit via 5% or 10 up to $10 a month, I guess. So we take a Lyft ride, you get 5%. So meaning that you spend $100, you get $5. So you have to spend $200 in order to get $10. Really?
That's the way I'm reading that.
Me too. If that's the case, that sucks. And so $120 Peloton credit. So compared to the Uber credit with Amex, which is $15.
Yeah.
Right?
And 30.
I like that. And then we've got Peloton. Okay. Are they still around?
I think so.
I got one in the and I've got one with 100 miles on it in the one room over here.
They became considerably less popular when the gyms reopened, I think.
Yeah, no kidding. And we bought one, and it's sitting in there. So anybody wants a Peloton, give me an offer. Put it in the description or email me. Got to pick it up though in SAC. Yeah. So you know what I see here, man? I see a for busy people, a bunch of homework is what I see.
Yeah.
I don't like this at all. I don't think this is worth $800.
I like the way it is currently structured myself.
But
I guess the A-list status is worth something.
Well, you got to spend $75K. Not everybody does that.
And that's when you get the $500 credit on Southwest as well,
which is definitely worth it.
Oh, yeah.
And also the A-list status definitely. So Melinda, we always get, because I'm her companion. Yeah. We always she got it like organically last year. Mm-hmm. If you're not on the A-list, meaning that you change flights. We always get A-list when she checks in, or A group when she checks in. And now with the changes from New Year's, we'll see how that goes. Right. Other benefits, she has the more expensive credit card, the one that's $150. I don't have that one either. I have the lower one, the middle one, the $90, I think $95 one. So that combination for her works well. So I would say it's worth that. And also the IHG One Rewards Diamond Elite status. Do you have that?
Not anymore. I've been Diamond, but from my Kempton Inner Circle days.
Right.
It wasn't a total waste.
Cool. Yeah, but I mean, it's there and it's their top tier. So you can't get that. So you get their own credit card from Chase, right? You only get Platinum.
Yeah.
So, and then $250 the shops credit. What's the shops?
I don't know what the shops is.
Let's go to the videotape. See what that is. I'll look it up in another window. What the shops are, because $250, that's a substantial amount of moolah.
Yeah.
It's a retailer offering store credit to customer, which can be used to purchase items within their stores. This credit may be used when a customer returns an item, can't exchange it, or participate in buyback trade-in programs. What?
Okay.
I don't know. I got to look that up. It might not even be the right thing. So I'll look it up. I'll do a little research on that until we meet again.
Yeah, that's going to take some reading.
Yeah, I don't. This is like, DoorDash, sure, but I'm just not seeing anything happening here that makes it more valuable to me. It's less, much less.
It's not exciting at all.
Right, and for us, as you know, we do 10, 15 events per year, so we pay, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we do spend more than $75K. Sure. So I think that's why Melinda is kind of going to keep it because of that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, but I don't think for anybody that Claudia, Schiffer, blah blah blah. We've already seen. Who cares about that? She's holding the Sapphire Reserve. It's pretty big. The card that she's holding.
That's quite a card.
Is that for like old timers who can't see?
Yeah, you and I that we can't see.
Yeah, we got to have it to see it.
I have to have my readers to read this thing.
Oh man. So I wanted to talk about the subway in the Metro opens long-awaited LAX station. But that thing is not really the connector that goes from that station around is not open yet. It opens later this year or early next year. Yeah. So it's not open just yet, but it'll change things dramatically in LA for sure. Cost a ton of money, and now you can actually take the connector to the subway, and then you can take the subway to downtown LA in a like a jiffy. And I'm definitely going to start doing that because you can get off at LA Live, and you got the JW there. You got the figure. Go ahead.
No, I just said, I haven't been there since COVID, for crying out loud. But that's a definite game changer for getting to and from LAX.
Yeah. All right, let's do a little travel news so it looks like there are a lot of people who are canceling their travel to the United States this summer. And it seems like Australia is the last country that have cut back double-digit percentage to stop traveling to the U.S. Canada, obviously, it doesn't help when you are threatening to annex a country and
Governor Trudeau and
exactly, all of that stuff. So Canadians are pretty level-headed, I would say. They are they're very calm and nice people, super nice. But I think what this year has taught us is that we've learned that they can be angry if they want to be.
They're proud to be Canadian.
There you go. So moose, maple syrup, and thick socks. Germany is also fallen a lot. The UK, Spain, and South Korea are the ones that are walking away from us right now. And the newest one is Australia. So hopefully it'll pick up soon. But, and I will tell you also, I crossed the border recently as a European. And it was no problem at all. It was no different than normally when I crossed the border. So let's if somebody gets stopped, there's going to be a lot of screaming, and you're going to end up in CNN in about 30 seconds. I would say that I've gone over the border twice from Europe, and nobody's hassling me at all. And I have a green card, so nothing's burning. We've got a little situation in LA now with Dementia Donnie sending a bunch of Marines and stuff to do a job that's not there. It's like tiny area. So I was looking at my buddy that lives in Santa Monica, no issue. My buddy that lives in Beverly Hills, no issues at all. They don't even know because they never go in that area, right? So come visit and forget about politics. Is that a good mission? Good statement?
That works for me. My wife's sister, my sister-in-law lives in LA, and she's not having. I can't remember what part specifically, but there's no problem.
Yeah, it's like downtown area. So, but it's under control now. It's just all this stuff is really dumb, and it's grandstanding and it's stupid. Come and visit, and text me and I'll give you the code so you can get in. All right, so Walmart had their own credit cards with Capital One for a while and decided to terminate that kind of stuff, their agreement that they had. Mm-hmm. And they are coming out with some credit cards from Walmart themselves. And as you know, the Walmart is the biggest retailer in the U.S., and they've had a relationship. They have something called Walmart Plus, which I assume will be a part of these credit cards here when they come out. And Walmart Plus is actually not a bad gig. I would say that they have a lot of strange stuff, like specific fancy things that might not be on Amazon or as expensive on Amazon. They have that. So there's a lot. It's not just shopping from Walmart. It's a ton of other vendors in there. It's like a software challenged Amazon, if we will.
That's a good way to put it. Absolutely. Right.
But there are in the Walmart apps. For example, we get things from Amazon, meaning from Whole Foods, delivered, and they don't have like real soda. And I don't want to have Bobby's Cola or anything like that. I want to have my Coca-Cola and stuff like that. So we order from Walmart Plus every once in a while, and it comes free. There are multiple credit cards that have it, but I think, but at least the Amex Platinum has
the
that.
Amex Platinum. That's how I have it, Sam.
Right. So it's not that often, but I think it's a good benefit, and it's quite interesting to see that they are, it's a lot of spend on these cards, and obviously it won't. It's obviously not the target group for Walmart is probably a little bit different than we think, but the majority of customers are probably not the ones who go to Whole Foods, even though I have no issues with that. I like I said, I order from every once in a while.
I shop at Walmart and I shop at Whole Foods.
Exactly. Same here. So at the end of the day, and also here's the thing. I would go in there at Walmart, and it's not like, you see all those videos with those guys driving around their little rascals there with the fat hanging out, or racial slurs, or crap flying through the air. I've never seen that.
That's because it's made up.
Or it's probably every once in a while.
Regionally focused.
There you go. All right. Fair warning. Hawaiian is obviously due, and it's good that we have ye olde MD-95 in the photo there. That's an MD-95, right?
That's a 717.
Oh, is that what they call it now?
MD-95, yes.
Yeah, it says 717. And Hawaiian is ending partnerships with a ton of airlines now. They're integrating more with Alaska Airlines. They've also announced that they're doing a brand new flight to their first European flight, where they're using the Hawaiian Airlines 787s from Seattle to Rome is the first.
I saw.
And I heard that the rumor says, and actually it's not a rumor, the CEO is Italian and his mom lives in the area. So that's why that's where the facts end. But I'm sure he's not going to hate it that he has the opportunity to go see his mom, right?
I suspect he will not hate that. No doubt.
Right. But, I mean, it's an underserved market for sure. I mean, my goodness, that the Rome market, it's nonstop flights from the East Coast. It is a hot ticket right now. And but it's a long flight, and not as long from Seattle as it is from LA. We flew back in March. We flew Malta to Rome, Rome to LAX, and it was just almost 13 hours, man.
Oh.
12 hours and some change.
Oh, wow.
And thankfully, we were in premium because it was a day flight. It left like at 9 o'clock in the morning or 9:10 in the morning. And we were in premium and we were comfortable and we had the whole first row in premium to ourselves. I guess we were the only ones willing to pay for that upgrade, but it wasn't full.
Right.
So, but it was a good flight, good food and all that stuff. We flew back and it was the old premium economy. And it was on a 350 also, but it sucked. It was really, really tight. And they have the entertainment box under the seat, you know?
Right. Oh, yeah.
From back in the day. I guess it's what is that stuff that's under the seat?
It's wires and, hell, I don't know.
Control units, maybe, or whatever. Older planes have that.
Yeah.
Although a 350 isn't that old. And it was tight. It was my least favorite thing. And we were on the upgrade list, and it was meaning that we bid for an upgrade. And I was like, oh, hell no. I am not ready for 10 hours and 50 minutes in the premium with somebody reclining their seat in my face.
Yeah.
We jacked it up to $700 per person and no dice.
Really?
No.
That's
dice.
tough. I'm glad.
And Melinda, the seat in front of her.
Right.
There was nobody there. That was an open seat. So she had the seat straight up. While I had some old timer, and he was like right in my face.
Oh,
and
yeah. I love it when that happens.
2 million kids, including one across the aisle, which was the guy in front of it. He was the dad of this. He wasn't an old timer. He was like my age, right? Yeah, so an old timer. But he was like in his early 50s, and he, like us, and Mama was sitting in the 2-seater by the window, and his 2 kids, they were like a family of 5. And she had a baby, like maybe 1-2 years, probably something like that. I can't tell, but it could walk. The child could walk. Sure. It could walk. I don't know if it's a male or female.
Yeah.
And I finally fell asleep, and we're in the last row, so the recline wasn't as good. And I woke up. I heard a clunk. It was the kid falling. She had made a situation where she put a carry-on the ground, and she put a blanket on it, so it had like a bed, right? Kid had a bed. And I woke up, I heard a clunk, and the kid had fallen out of the seat and landed on his head, or his or her head, on the floor. And none of the parents woke up, and I was like, hey, I said to the mom, and I couldn't wake her up. The guy in front of me, he was right there, so I obviously shook the seat like that. Hey, your kid is falling on the floor and is crying. And he got up though. And he of course, it's Italian guy. So he gave the kid to the mom, and we couldn't wake her up. Like she was like a good 30 seconds before she was up.
Probably popped an Ambien before she
probably as one does when one has a kid. All right. So they're ending the partnerships with Hawaiian's ending the partnerships with Virgin Australia, Virgin Atlantic, China Airlines, which we talked about earlier, and then Southwest picked that one up. Japan Airlines transitioning to Alaska, which of course Alaska is both Japan Airlines and Alaska are in one world. Korean Air, JetBlue. So, and then there are some stuff that we have. Foodland is the grocery store chain, and Koa Pancake and Maui Gym is the sunglasses people and that kind of stuff. And then earn-only partnership with Rocket Mortgage, University of Hawaii, Carmel, and Island Arts. So, not that I'm sure that they will clean this up and make it a little bit different. Hopefully, they won't do like Delta did, who back in the day nuked a lot of their partnerships to streamline things. We'll see what happens as this relationship continues to evolve.
Yeah, no, it's the Hawaiian and Alaska merger is interesting to me.
We did use the transfer offer and moved over quite a bit of miles over to Alaska through Hawaiian, because you can never have enough Alaska miles. It's like a very good currency to have.
Very useful.
All right. Internet problems with United. Invested in Starlink, which I can vouch for is a really good product. Hawaiian has that on their planes. And it's literally it's like a good hotel. Remember back in the days when you would connect to internet on your hotel, out of your hotel, you had to put in the name of your sister's dog and all that kind of stuff to be able to get online. Well, here, and you still have to do that with some of these airlines too, and you got to pay and stuff. Yeah. It's free. You click on the Starlink, and it pops up this page. You go online, boom, you're online, and it is as fast as your cell phone on the ground.
That's cool. I haven't tried Starlink yet.
It is fabulous. And I just talked to, we had a conversation with Aaron Beckstrom. Actually, I did an interview with him. He's the head of Eurobonus, a VP of products and loyalty at SAS. So he has both onboard product and loyalty. What he said was like, I'm in charge of all the fun stuff, loyalty and what champagne to pick on board and stuff like that. So he said they just are integrating it also now at SAS, and it'll also be free. So it's popping up, and obviously it's fairly simple. Having 2 or 3 satellites that cost a crap load of money, or having how many is it? 7,200 that pop around the orbit at lower altitudes.
I don't know what the number is, but I
think it's 7,200 we have now. But there are some problems. I guess these jungle jets from Brazil are having some problems, so they have
radio interference action, I guess.
Exactly, radio interference. So they've taken it offline for the E75s, A175s.
That's too bad, but I'm sure.
I'm sure they'll figure it out. Yeah. Just be mindful of that. Oh my goodness, what is going on? Owen Wilson is on Apple TV and the Newsweek. It's like pop-up central around here. That Slate car look interesting. That it's all electric. World's simplest pickup truck. 25 grand. I might do it when it comes out, if it comes out. Yes, we're talking about the high-speed rail project in Texas. And as you know, certain political powers are not big fans of windmills and water pressure and trains. And unfortunately for us, because this is a good project. So this, for those who don't know, it's between Houston and Dallas is the first they're going to be doing. And then they're looking to end up with a triangle to Austin. So there's supposed to be a triangle between adding Austin in on a longer term perspective. It brings a lot of stuff and what we've seen here in California. We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and I stand corrected. There was a comment on that thread that we still have ways to go. And actually, we're getting really close to the post-pandemic Caltrain's ridership, but it is growing like crazy, and it's becoming really popular. And there's something to be said for traveling so quickly between two cities without going through security and going to the airport, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So the study shows the economic impact is crazy good. And of course, they have the current administrations that ended the grant and pulled it back. And so now they're looking to find private investments to do this, because they're looking at, I was going to say Priceline, but it's obviously Brightline.
Yeah.
Who seems to be doing really well in Florida.
Yeah. Absolutely. And soon, Vegas to LA as well? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2028, it's going to come. And that'll be true high-speed rail, because the Florida one isn't really high-speed rail. And it's also not as fast because it's driven by diesel. You need to have it needs to be electric in order for it to go 225 miles an hour, which from Vegas, it's easy to build because it's in the center lanes of the highway is when it's going to go. It's an easy build. You don't have to go through mountains and complicated earthquake area. That's the reason why everybody's talking about the boondoggle train to nowhere. Sounding like a dumbass. So many idiots out there don't know anything about California high-speed rail. Like drilling through a mountain where there are earthquakes through the San Andreas Falls. You better do that properly or people are going to die. So, but the Vegas 2 one is fairly straightforward. Not saying they're not going to spend $15 billion building it, but obviously there's a business case, because they are building it, and it's a private company.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a good project. They are working with, as you could see, I thought I saw a train here. They are
somewhere. Maybe it was on the video earlier.
Probably. Yeah. So what they're doing here is they're using the Shinkansen train, the 700 series that are in Japan, that are used on the Hakata to Tokyo line, which is the one that includes both Osaka and not Osaka, but Kyoto and Osaka and those areas, and Hiroshima and those places. So it's that type of train. So it's tried and true. It goes to over 200 miles an hour, and it's a spectacular plane, pretty wide, same stock as we have, and it's good quality stuff. So hopefully they'll get it to work. All right, what else do we have in here? Last one. These airlines are adding more legroom in economy class. What? So. The hell is going on here? So we know that Southwest is adding a new product, an economy plus style product. But it seems like a lot of people are traveling now, and not everybody can afford to fly in business class. So they want to have a little bit more comfort and a little bit more room. And it appears that there are some airlines that are making strides. And of course, it's, domestic flights in Japan are pretty tight, both in premium cabin and else, and all the cabins there. And they have something called 9 economy class, and the pitch is this new seats redefine passenger comfort, especially on long-haul flights, according to the airline's release. Passengers will especially appreciate the seat pitch of 33 to 34 inches. Wow. That's back in the day when it was comfortable, it was 32, right?
Yeah.
And now it's 29 with some of these jokers. 33 to 34 sounds amazing.
And it would feel amazing if you sat in a 29-inch pitch economy seat for a few hours.
Yeah, I've done that, like Ryan and stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't. I usually pay for the emergency exit. I mean, I have $11, which most people on Ryanair doesn't. I mean, we flew Ryanair when we repositioned in Europe 2 weeks ago. And we flew Ryan from Stansted to Copenhagen. It was, 1/3 of the price with SAS, and I bought everything available. Like the fast track was $7. We walked into the fast track, and we were the only ones there. Okay. And as you know, in the UK now, they've gotten rid. They don't do it like we do it here. We have some of these. Here in the US, we started somewhere, but it's just a trial. In the UK now, these new screeners. You don't take anything out of your bags.
Really?
It's over. That's the way that one went. So next they're going to do that thing that can check the water too. So the water situation might be gone also. But anyway, so we got on board a flight and the emergency. Nobody paid for the good seats. It wasn't full. And of course, the only seats that had the middle seat open or nobody in them was in the emergency exit or in the front.
There you go.
Yeah. So it sounds like they're doing, what else is to say here? Ergonomically seat 2 inches of recline, AC power outlets, in addition to USB A and C. So they have both the old timer one and the new timer one. The seats will start rolling out on long haul flights in 2026, including those between Tokyo and Hawaii. And then Swiss is doing also something similar. They have something called the Swiss Census, which is up to 33.
That just sounds relaxing. Swiss Census.
Yeah, so that's like the Swiss of the seas. That should be one of your royal ships there.
There you go.
Cam, new seats to first class, business, and premium economy and economy. At the back of the plane, passenger will have more room to stretch out. So it's equipped with comfortable and functional seats. Look at how big that screen is. It looks about the same size as the new one on the new American Airlines plane that launched earlier a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, it just looks small. And it's like, yeah, I've seen 31 inches on Qatar. What do you want? The new Swiss economy is equipped with comfortable. Yeah, so the optimized design allows allow the seat pitch to be increased. The new economy seat offers a pitch up to 33 inches, an inch more than its current coach seat, and it's on its long haul planes. Passengers can also cozy up with about an extra inch of seat width. An extra inch. That's pretty freaking awesome, if you ask me.
That's going to make all the difference in the world.
No kidding. And as you can see, my favorite, a 2-seater.
Yeah.
So, and passenger, so it was total weight of 19 inches. 19 inches? That can't be right. That must be premium economy or business.
I guess so. Because,
I think that there's a typo here.
Don't
quote us on that.
Airbuses are, 18 inches? They're 1 inch wider than the narrow-body Boeing.
Right. And then also Qantas is doing something, and Qantas has always been good. They have a couple of good products, as you can see there. The recline there is pretty good, and also big stuff. And this is for the 351,000. Is that plane out yet?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Up to 22 hours. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Woo. Yeah, I think you need your 33 inches at that point, don't you?
You need something.
Yeah, you need, a good 90-night pill or some serious hooch.
You need not in coach. That's what you need.
All right, that's all I got for today. A little bit of everything happening on the world of miles and points and travel. And what do you got going on? Did you decide on the cruise for the summer?
Still looking at it. It may be a last minute thing or as last minute as possible, but I will tell you that we have booked the 2026 Zumba cruise.
I saw that. I was gonna share that with everybody.
Zumba-cruise.
Zumba cruise. It's for somebody. It's like calisthenics. Is that what it is?
I guess so. I've been on have I been on 2 or 3 with my Zumba teaching wife, and I would do 1 class a day for my daily sweat, and she would usually do 5.
Oh, okay. So you're at the bar, and after you go and you put your body into something uncomfortable for a little bit, and then you go to the bar.
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Pretty much. And when is that Zumba cruise?
It's next March.
Next March. Actually, we'll put it up on the screen the next time around. I don't have it handy right now. I got to upload it in advance. We'll put it up on the screen there. Then you can meet Marshall, and maybe. What date was it again?
March 9th.
March 9th. So that's when we have an event from on the 11th and 12th, unfortunately. So that sucks. But we can have some of our viewers join you from all over the world. And I'm going on a cruise next Saturday.
Good for you.
We're starting in Athens. We're going to Crete, which is the least exciting stop of all of it, in Chania. And then we're going up to Montenegro, to Bar, because what's the other place in Kotor? The ship was too big, or they was crowded, or whatever, because Princess decided to. We talked about that in another episode on our cruise show that you should check out. We probably should record one or something. Well, maybe we'll try and do one from my balcony.
That's right.
Exactly. And then on to Corfu,
very nice.
Messina in Sicily, and then end up in Barcelona. And on the Sun Princess.
That's going to be a great trip.
We will check it out, and let's try and see if we can do something on there. And maybe we'll even do a live stream.
Get the zippy internet.
Yeah, we have the internet package because we did the Sanctuary or whatever it's called. Yeah. But it's you can just do it in port on your phone, so that'll be fine.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Thank you, Marshall, and have a great weekend, and I'll catch you when we get back from Europe.
All right. Talk to you.
Giddy up.
Thanks.